Get some. Woo! Wow, let me get this thing unloaded, guys. You know, if it gets to the point to where 357 just doesn't impress the ladies anymore, you want to break out your 4570. And this what we have here, guys, is a Century Arms 4570 single action revolver, 6 shots, and you can see it's kind of huge. It makes a nice presence. It's got a lot of authority, big noise. They didn't make but like 3,000 of them, so we're going to take it out and give it a run and see what we can do with it. Hey guys, Century Arms started making these revolvers in 1976. I first read about them in 1977 in a Guns and Ammo review, so I think it was old Elmer Keith. If you remember Elmer Keith, anything he said was good I had to have, so I ordered one. It actually took me about 9 years to get it. I had sent them like a $100 deposit, and every once in a while they'd send me a note, say, yeah, you got one coming, you got one coming, and I finally got one, so I haven't done a thing with it, so it's just a fun gun to shoot. What you want to realize, this is a 405 grain bullet. Even in the light loads, the power factor is like a 360,000. So if you're a USPSA shooter, 165 is major, so 365 has to be better. So we've got some targets of opportunity downrange, and let's go ahead and shoot a few plates there on a plate rack. We'll start on the left side and see if we can hit one, see if it'll knock it down. As you can see, even a light load barely knocked it down. So let's go ahead and shoot another one. Yeah, got a little bit of thump there. Very light recoil, but it hits pretty good. Let's do another one. Yeah, so let's go long here. Got those big steel targets. Let's see if we can put them in the middle. You know you hit it, man. 405 grain bullets at 900 feet a second. And the one on the right, let's see if we can put that one in the middle. So there you have it, guys, 4570, relatively light recoil, a big heavy gun. But what the 4570 is pretty much famous for is penetration. So we're going to step over and do some test mediums for you, and I know it's going to be impressive. 4570 was famous for straight line penetration. So what I've got today for you is a 415 grain cast bullet that's been heat treated. It's got a coating on it so it doesn't lead. It's doing about the standard velocity of a 4570 black powder round. So I've got 4 gallons of water. I'm hoping to shoot through all of them and also go into the berm about 2 feet. So we're going to try to do all this with one shot. All right, let's go ahead and load it up. Take a knee here. Everybody ready? Here we go. Right in the middle. All right, there you have it, guys. As you can see, let me go ahead and unload. All right, we're empty. As you can see, we easily penetrated 4 gallons of water, and I can see where it went into the berm. So we're going to grab a stick right quick and actually see how far it went into the berm also. As you can see, the last 2 bottles were shot pretty much through the center, made a clean exit. And that's pretty much what a hard bullet to do. But what's interesting, it's still going in a straight line even after we perforated 4 gallons of water. So you have a hard bullet, moderate velocity. But let's take a look in the berm here and see where she went. Let me find a stick here. See if we can probe it. There's the entry. It'll probably go another foot into the dirt here. This is where the bullet went. Wow, it's pretty interesting, guys. You see this? We went through 4 gallons of water and we went that far in the berm, guys. And that's all at about 900 feet a second. So penetration is not an object with this gun. I was going to try to dig that bullet out, but I'm not going to tear my whole berm down. So we had at least, what, 16, 18 inches of penetration, 4 gallons of water, all out of a cartridge that was invented or adopted by the U.S. government back in 1873. So the whole theme of today's performance on the range is going retro, guys. So I had this revolver since about 1970, no, I think about 83 or 85. Actually, I ordered it in 1977, but it took about 9 years to come in. So I actually forgot that I even ordered it when I received it. So it was kind of like a surprise gift. But anyway, Give you an idea, they made these for about 20 years. They started manufacturing in 1976. They made about 3,000, maybe 3,500 of them. So they also made them in 3 or 4 different calibers. They made them in 375 Winchester, 444 Marlin, the 45-70 like I have here, and also a 50-70. So that's kind of an interesting caliber in itself. The 45-70 was the one I wanted because, of course, it's the most versatile round that you can possibly put in something like this. And I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that right quick. So we're going retro, guys. So I dug out the oldest can of powder I have. This is some SR 4759. This is actually this powder is probably 35 years old, maybe more. I bought it off a gentleman who used to load it for his Gatling gun. He actually had an 83 Colt Gatling gun, and one of the smokeless powder loads he used was the 4759. So, and I got to digging in my primer inventory, and I found these old Federal large rifle primers. They're probably about 30 years old. So the gun's 30 years old. I'm about 27 years old. Powder's old, but the cartridge is even older, guys. 1873, when it was officially adopted by the U.S. government. It was a standard cartridge, issue cartridge for a little over 20, I think 22, 23 years. The original round had a 500 grain bullet, but what they found, it was so brutal on the recoil, especially when you put it in a carbine, that they had to lower the bullet weight to a 405 grain bullet. So they made a carbine load, and they also had a rifle load. And the 500 grain load is what they shot in all the Colt Gatling guns that they made for the 45-70 cartridge. So it's a big 6-shot single action revolver. It has an alloy frame. This is actually the first time I've actually taken it out and done anything with it since I've had it. So as you can see, it needs a little TLC. I need to clean it up a little bit. Another thing about the 45-70 that I like is a huge variety of ammunition available for it. Everybody makes at least 2 or 3 rounds of ammunition for 45-70. You can go anywhere from a 500 grain bullet. The standard round would be, like I said, 400. These are 415 cast. Make a 500 grain. Pretty much the modern round for it would be the 300 grain hollow point, small game, deer, boar. Another interesting thing about the 45-70, guys, is that its original loading was black powder, of course. The chamber pressure of that was like 15,000 PSI, but you can bring this thing up into guns that can handle it and make it thump 3 and 4 times the horsepower of the original loading if the gun was actually designed for that pressure level. So if you had an old trapdoor Springfield, 1873, you can load down to the black powder velocity pressure. If you have a modern gun, a bolt action that would take 45-70 ammo, you can kick the PSI all the way up to the modern cartridges, and you get 3 and 4 times the actual muzzle energy. So this bullet in a modern gun can go up to 2,100, 2,200 feet a second. In the older guns, down to about 1,200. So you can see the performance level is whatever the platform will let it handle. So the cartridge itself is probably one of the most versatile centerfire big bore cartridges ever made, and it's still out there. And what can you say, guys? When you're on the range, it's just a lot of fun. So what do you think, guys? A good way to brighten an overcast day? Take out a revolver chamber for a cartridge that's over 140 years old. Still fun to do. Is the gun useful? I don't know. Is it fun? Well, you saw it is. A lot of fun. So that's the idea, having a bunch of stuff that you don't use. That's why I have all this junk here. It's just go out on different days, have fun, be safe on the range, and experiment with what you got. So 45-70 is a very versatile cartridge. So what can I say? Still live and doing very well. I hope you enjoyed it. I'd like to invite you to subscribe to Miculek.com and like me on Facebook, and keep posted, guys. We got other good stuff coming.